Hello. Thank you for being here. It means a lot, and thank you for letting me share my story. Whenever I feel down, I remind myself how lucky I am to be here. There are so many places I could have ended up. I wasn't born and raised in Tacoma, and when I was younger, I moved around a lot, and that was very hard. I never stayed at a school for more than 2 years, and every time I moved on, I left all of my friends behind. It started when I was 6, and I left California. My parents had split up, and even though we just moved to Oregon, it was a whole new world, and not the fun Disney kind. And when I was little, it wasn't hard to make friends. But with every new school and new group of people, it became way more difficult to meld with my peers. By the time I was in 5th grade, I was so tired of trying to make people like me that I decided being no one's friend hurt way less than leaving people behind. I closed myself off, and I made myself prickly and rude and very hard to like. I thought if I was just going to move in another year, what's the point of making friends? It was too much to risk all of that rejection if I was just going to be gone next fall. So when COVID hit, I didn't really have anyone. I was alone, didn't have any friends or really anything to do. So I focused on school, and I thrived academically for the first time. But I craved the mental stimulation that I got from it, and I lived on the validation of finding something that I was good at, just naturally. So when I moved to Tacoma 4 years ago, all I had was the idea that I was quote-unquote smart. I had no idea who I was, or any friends really, just a narrow view of my intelligence. So I started basing my self-worth off of my schoolwork. And every time that I got less than an A, it felt like the world was collapsing in on me. If I hadn't found Hilltop Artists, I probably would have continued like that for a lot longer. Hilltop Artists gave me a space that was separate to my academic performance. It was the first time I had found an unconditional community, or really any community. It didn't matter how good I was at algebra or how much I raised my hand in English. All that mattered was that I was there. It gave me something I wasn't immediately good at, something hard, and gave me a real opportunity to grow. It was also the first time I had ever experienced something similar to counseling through my time spent with Hilltop's outreach manager. I had been incredibly anxious and depressed, but at Hilltop Artists, I finally found a place to talk with someone who was open to listen to me talk about my feelings and my problems without judgment. I finally became comfortable enough to get officially diagnosed and speak with a real therapist, which is important. Hilltop was my first real taste of community, and I have no idea who I would be without it. Over the past 4 years, it's been a constant respite from my busy life and a place that I look forward to going to no matter what. I have a place and a voice and a home there. And it's given me a million skills outside of class too. Even just the little things like being a better communicator or being able to work on teams with people with diverse personalities who I often clash with. But the biggest thing I've found through Hilltop is self-acceptance. I stopped basing my worth on outside validation, and I started to realize that just being myself is enough to be accepted and loved by my community. I don't have to be the perfect student or kid or even glassblower. I just need to be me. And I know that even on my worst days, Hilltop will always have my back. I'm always going to be a Hilltop kid, and that's a title I wear with pride. Thank you.